Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. VTP Stage 2 Online Technical Tuesday Coaching Call 194 for 2nd of June 2026. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a good start to the week. Hope you're ready for another interesting and eventful week ahead. As always, you're very welcome here. Just remember that you are always responsible for your own trading decisions. Okay, and as always, look to finish with sterling. Okay, my sterling profile. So I've got cable, euro sterling, pound Aussie, pound Canadian, pound yen, pound Swiss, pound Kiwi, and FTSE. Okay, this is what we're seeing going on here. So let's have a look at cable. Okay, so we've looked at we looked at dollar. We looked at the dollar index. That weekly chart. It's just it's just mad, isn't it? All right. If you're trying to, swing trade trends, it's not exactly been easy there, has it? It's not exactly been easy. So, and if we look to the daily chart, I mean, even if you look for, from, here we are, start off, let's actually zoom out a little bit. It was pretty messy. All right. So if we look at that, it was March was messy. Okay, March was messy. Then you had the double bottom with the kind of the wars over relief rally. You then basically had the sort of UK local elections, and they've just basically drifted. And now, as I said, I see us just coiling up there. All right, just coiling up there once again. All right, price and the moving averages. All right, all wrapped up together. And as I said, it's like trying to force two north ends of magnets. They just repel. They repel each other, push each other apart. So what will be the catalyst? Will it be the jobs numbers? Okay. Will it be the UK by-election? Okay. Will there be more tawdry details coming out of the Mandelson files, which got released last night? Okay. And personally, I think that it's tawdry details, but it's mostly gossip, some terrible things, but nothing really. Not. Personally, I don't think it's the sort of thing that's going to kill off a government, even as much as I'd like it to be. It's not. But hopefully you can just see that there is compression is coiling up there. Okay, and the question is, A, how long can it coil up for? It can always coil up for longer than you think. B, what is the sort of thing that could be the catalyst for a move? So yeah, so pound against sterling there, pound against New Zealand, pound against Kiwi, sorry, pound against yen even, all right? We'll get it right. It's been a long day already. Yeah, we've worked our way up. From the intervention though, look at where we are. From where the the Japanese intervened, we're not far back off it. And this is the sterling, which isn't even terribly strong. We had we're above it. Okay, we had a pull back, bounce off the 50, and work its way up there, isn't it? That is. You can't help but think that that is going to go back and retest it. That is the market retesting the Japanese. And that's what that is. And this is just getting carried along on the back of it. Okay. So, don't be fighting that. Don't be trying to be a smart ass there. Okay. Pound against Swiss franc. Well, those of you who join me, have said, if you look at that really for the last couple of months, yeah, we're beneath a really nice 50 period moving average. Yeah. If you'd have shorted off there, okay, I wouldn't have had an issue with there. Okay. But it's a little bit, the price action, I wouldn't exactly say is the, is getting people excited, getting people, wanting to leap off the beds, and jump off the sidelines. All right. Certainly, if we look at, the daily chart, yeah, it popped right out into the 200, but it's come right back and then it's took out the other side of that kind of range. And we're back in the middle of that range. And look at that, the 200's coming down, prices at the 50, all markets seem to be coiling up a bit. All right, they all seem to be coiling up a bit, and so they're all waiting for what is going to be the catalyst that basically changes that. For pound against Canadian dollar, I mean that's look at that. When there's something to do, you do something, and when there isn't anything to do, you don't do anything. All right, if you're trying to be a trend trader on pound CAD, the last couple of months, you're going to get just absolutely kicked about, aren't you? And part of the being a good trader is actually just doing nothing when there's nothing to do. It's not that kind of sort of just projecting onto the market what you want to see. There've been a couple of nice little intraday trades on pound CAD, okay, that have swung. But if you're, as I said, if you're trying to be a swing trader, okay, trying to trade trends, well, just look at that. There's been a couple of swings, but not really any trends there as of the last couple of months. All right, and that is just arsing about, and that is a technical term. Pound against Aussie. Well, part of this has been Aussie strength, sterling weakness. That's worked its way nicely, and I was just starting to wonder if if maybe we'd flushed there. Are we doing? But we're staying still beneath that the short-term moving average. I wonder. Here we go. Pound against Aussie in the daily. You do start to wonder. Well, is this maybe? Bang. It's. I would say this is too early for it to be a bull flag. Okay, I would have wanted price to have got broken these structures, got above that 50, and then bull flagged into the kind of 50 and the 190 and go. Okay, I think it's a little early for that. I think it's a little early for that. But clearly it is just grinding its way lower there, isn't it? That is just grinding its way. All right. So, it needs to make a move from there once again. Is it going to be the Aussie news this week, or is it going to be Bailey saying something that kind of shifts it? But that's what we work with. Kiwi dollar, we looked at just before. The kind of interesting one here is FTSE, right? I know we don't normally do indexes too much on the stage 2 call, but listen, look at that. I've been talking about how everything's coiling up. Well, I would say the same with FTSE. Look at the way that's coiling up there. Okay, once again, is this global? All right, global malaise. Okay, or is this local? Is this local action, as in a bit like the others? It's waiting for that by-election, okay, on the 18th of June, to see who's basically going to be running the country and who, what kind of fiscal and monetary policy are they going to bring to the table. And I wonder if that's what we're waiting for there, and that we're coiling up there. Okay, so yeah, it's just you can't not see that, can you? After having had a great run once again, that nice monger bounce off the weekly 200, run lovely. Now you're just looking at saying, well, okay, it's coiling up, getting ready to make its next move, and who knows what that might be. Stay tuned. Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let us draw it to a close there. Okay, I hope you found that useful. I hope that's given you a little bit of insight that you can take forward. It's going to be an interesting week because there are some interesting earnings reports. There are some interesting data points. There are quite a few central bankers speaking, and then of course there is the US-Iran element overhanging all of it. So, as always, make sure you're on top of the news flow. Make sure you're on top of the order flow. Make sure you're on top of your risk management. Okay, have a great trading week, everybody, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.